I want to remind every single one of you exactly how Ilhan Omar feels about the United States of America and the men and women who founded it. Just take a listen to this.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
That is absolutely ridiculous to me, that you have a foreigner holding the position that she does in Minnesota and talking like this about the people who make up not just the state of Minnesota, but the United States of America in general. She is not taking any accountability for what is happening right now in Minnesota because of the Somalians that are there, who are defrauding the shit out of our healthcare system and stealing your taxpayer dollars in the process. This woman is an atrocity, I think that's the right word, to what our government is supposed to be. She is only here to get as much money as she can to send it back to Somalia. She has said herself that the only reason that she is here is to do things to make it better for her country. And her country is Somalia, not the United States of America. She does not consider this country to be her country. This is just a stopping point along the way to make her country great. Not again. I don't think Somalia has ever been great, but that is what she is attempting to do. To take as much taxpayer money as possible to send it to Somalia. To change our laws here in the United States of America, in Minnesota specifically, to help Somalians here and abroad. Remember, we've talked about this before. $1.7 billion a year under the Biden administration was being sent to Somalia. For what purpose? That is $1.7 billion that it could have been kept here to help the citizens of the United States of America, as opposed to being sent overseas to help somebody else. All right. On top of this, we know that there has been this massive defrauding of the healthcare system in Somalia. We talked about this recently. Up to $400 million last year in fake autism diagnoses for kids in Minnesota. And these autism specialty healthcare clinics have been opening up left and right, and these parents are taking their kids there, and they're being paid by these healthcare places to claim these kids have autism. It's become an entire money laundering scheme. And so you have all of this money that's being donated and being given to charities that's been laundered over the past couple of years. You have this whole autism thing. You have Tim Walz 5 days ago, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, saying Minnesotans are good neighbors. We want to see our vibrant nonprofits thrive, find a good cause for Give to the Max Day, and let's keep our ranking as one of the most generous states. But you know what happens when you donate in Minnesota? It goes into everybody's pockets but the charities that it's designed for. Unless, of course, that charity was designed specifically to take your money and launder it out to Somalia or Somalian residents in Minnesota, or hell, Tim Walz's pockets. It's just unbelievable to me that we have so many foreigners holding such high-ranking positions within our government, and we don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I know I do. I know you do. But somehow they keep getting voted in. But of course, it does help when they're getting voted in by the same 80,000 refugees that have been brought over to help them get placed where they need to be in order to help the country that they are fleeing from, right? That is kind of how it seems to work. What is even crazier to me is just a day ago, you guys have heard what's been going on with Captain Mark Kelly. Just a day ago, Governor Tim Walz said, "Few Americans have served our nation with the dignity, courage, and patriotism of Captain Mark Kelly. Unlike President Trump, his loyalties lie to the people and to the Constitution." I don't think Governor Tim Walz has any room to open his mouth about loyalties to the people or the Constitution, because he is not loyal to the citizens of the United States of America. He is loyal to the Somalians. He is not loyal to the Constitution. He is everything but. Anyway, that's just absolutely ridiculous to me. On top of this, let me just remind you all of exactly what is transpiring in Minnesota. President Trump himself posted this. He said, Minnesota, under Governor Walz, is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. I am, as President of the United States, hereby terminating, effective immediately, the temporary protected status, which is the TPS program, for Somalis in Minnesota. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Send them back to where they came from. It's over. President DJT. To which, of course, Ilhan Omar had to put in her 2 cents. And this is what she said. She said, I am a citizen, and so are majority of Somalis in America. But not all of them. I'd like to point that part out. Good luck celebrating a policy change that really doesn't have much impact on the Somalis you love to hate. We are here to stay. Y'all, the distaste I have for that woman is absolutely crazy. You ever meet somebody that just rubs you the wrong way and you instantly dislike them? Or maybe you've known them for a while, but the dislike grows and grows and grows over time. That's how it feels about Ilhan Omar. I cannot at all. Steven Crowder cracks me up. He posted, he goes, again, you literally married your brother. Opinion disregarded. Because remember, she married her brother in order to get him a citizenship. Is that what's happened with everybody who's here from Somalia that are citizens? Have they been marrying each other? Like one gets a legalization or whatever, so they marry a different brother, sister, uncle, mother, dad, whatever, to get them citizenship, which is possible. Which is highly possible, because in Somalia itself, 49% of the population is inbred. You know, sister cousins, brother husbands, whatever you want to call it. Then an average national IQ of 67. And please don't get mad at me when I laugh while I say that, but 70 qualifies for mental retardation. What do you think 67 means? You guys saw that guy who was running for mayor. I don't know his name. I didn't care enough to learn it, but he looked like what I imagine a Somali rodent would look like, that stuck its finger in a light socket and then, you know, shocked itself. I showed you guys a video of him a couple of days ago where he was waving the Somali flag while trying to get the city to vote him in as mayor, with, you know, nothing showing that he gave a shit about the United States of America, that he was straight up all about Somalia. Anyway, then on this, 4 decades of nonstop civil war. So for 40 years, they've hated each other and been screwing each other to repopulate the country that they're, you know, slowly killing. Okay, whatever. They have fraud rings, violent gangs, and tribal militias everywhere. And they're bringing all of that here to the United States of America, specifically to Minnesota. And Tim Walz steps back and pretends like nothing is going on. This whole thing is just like what we've been talking about with the whole Islamic Muslim takeover in Texas and New York City and Dearborn, Michigan. This is just a different sect of people that are doing their best to bring their way of life here, their beliefs here, to try to exterminate our way of life and our beliefs so that they can take over. Their country is shit, so they want to come here where we have a better country. They do not want to assimilate to what we are. They want us to assimilate to them. And if we do not, there will be violence. We've seen it happening in all these different places. There will be violence if you don't assimilate to the foreigners that are coming over here. That's some real fucked up shit right there. Just so we're all fully aware. Just so we're all fully aware, which I know most of y'all are. But every once in a while, somebody gets lost in the sauce and ends up over here that's not normally over here. And hopefully these little truth bombs make them see a little bit of light. We're like, oh shit, no, that makes sense, because they're too busy listening to mainstream media, too busy listening to Governor Tim Walz tell you how great the Somalians are, and not seeing the part where they are hijacking, or carjacking, that's not the right word, carjacking people, robbing you of your tax dollars, opening up false businesses to launder money to then send back to Al-Shabaab or whatever over in Somalia, the terrorists over there. It is an entire shit show with what's going on, and yet nothing is being done about it. Yes, President Trump has rescinded the TPS, the Temporary Protective Services, and that's maybe 800 out of 80,000. Hey, it's still a drop in the bucket. It's still a drop in the bucket, right? Go ahead and get that drop out. But when you don't have governors who are willing to stand up for the majority of their citizens, that's when your state goes to shit. Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota. Okay. Kathy Hochul with Mamdani in New York. And then you have Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan with what's going on there in Dearborn. These people should have some sort of repercussions for their lack of action. Because that's what it is. It's lack of action that allows all this stuff to start and then get bigger and bigger and bigger and spread out and take over. How much farther do we let this go? How much farther will this be allowed to go before a stop is put to it? Anyway, it's just absolutely batshit to me that this is where we are as a country, that we're having to worry about the invasion of other countries coming here to tear us apart from within. But it is what it is. Until we can stop it, we have to keep bringing attention to it. Speaking of bringing attention to things, see how I transition here? December 7th is the last day for your annual open enrollment period for Medicare, FYI, ladies and gentlemen. And the closer you get to December 7th, the busier the phones are going to be. So if you are a little impatient, like some people, that would be me and my mother and most people I know. If you're a little impatient, I would not wait till the very last minute to make your phone call to make sure your Medicare packages are good to go, because January 1st, 2026, there's going to be a lot of changes. And now with all this extra money they found fraudulently being sent out, it's going to probably affect a lot of different stuff healthcare wise, doctor's offices, hospitals, drugs, all kinds of stuff. You want to call somebody, right? Make sure that your plans are still safe January 1st, that nothing's changing for them, that you're not losing any kind of coverage, any doctors, any prescription abilities, or maybe there's new plans that would give you a better pricing for what you have, a better network that you need, things like that. You can call Medicare itself, which is, you know, everybody and their mom is going to be calling there. You can call your own personal broker if you have one. Everybody and their mom is going to be calling there too. Or you can call Chapter, who is, I personally suggest Chapter. I've had fabulous feedback from you guys talking about how amazing they have been, and the fact that they are here in the United States of America. You can understand them. They know exactly what you need and how to help you. I would call them. Still going to have a lot of people calling. It's going to be very busy. If you're interested in calling Chapter to talk to them about your Medicare plan to see if they can help you, free phone call. Phone number is 513 hold on. I had a brain fart. 513-898-3528 is the number. I have it in the pinned comment, and it's in like the description of the channel if you didn't catch it and you guys want to give them a call. There's also a website you can check out, but I suggest doing it sooner than later. December 7th is going to be the last day for the free annual open enrollment, and you do not want to miss that, okay? Anyway, besides that, let's keep an eye on Minnesota and Tim Walz and his little sparkly hands there, and I'll bring you any new updates that we have. I love y'all immensely. Have a good day. Goodbye.